What are affirmations and how do they work? Are they backed by science or are they complete new age? Today, those are the questions we'll answer. Let's do this. Now, before I dive into the science of affirmations, I want to tell you a little story. I want to tell you a story about myself and how I learned about the power of affirmations. September of 2020, a serious relationship of 3 years ended, and I got really depressed. I let myself go physically and ended up, over the course of the next month, weighing over 200 pounds. I'd always told myself I would never let myself go that far. I would never hit that 200-pound mark. And yet, for the first time in my life, I was hitting that. Not only that, I was depressed. I isolated myself from my family. I isolated myself from my friends. And to make matters worse, I went to food as my comfort. Food was the only thing in my life that was a constant. And specifically, Toll House cookie dough. I would get the big tubs of Toll House cookie dough and grab a spoon and eat the cookie dough right out of the tub for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That was all I ate for almost 30 days. As you can imagine, your body builds up an addiction to this sugar. Not only that, but your body builds up an addiction to the chemical releases that happens when you eat this sugar. And because all I'm eating is sugar, I'm physically, mentally, emotionally exhausted all day. I've isolated myself from my friends, from my family. I am in a devastating spiral. Eventually, I realized that this wasn't healthy, that I needed to make a change. And if I didn't make this change, this spiral would continue. So I decided to try willpower. I said, you know what? Let's start with cookie dough. This is one behavior that I'm doing. If I can change this behavior, maybe I can change my other behaviors. So I said, okay, I'm going to just give up cookie dough cold turkey. Pure willpower, pure discipline. You probably know how this went. I would last about 3, maybe 4 days in a good week. And then I would go right back into the cookie dough. The cookie dough would come calling and I would answer. I didn't have the willpower. I had set these habits, these ingrained patterns into my brain and into my body that I just couldn't get out of. So I started doing some research. How can I communicate with my brain and my body in a way that they will actually understand? Because clearly willpower and discipline doesn't work. And that's when I started to discover the power of affirmations. Affirmations are the language of the mind. They actually speak in a way that the brain understands. Instead of just spinning your wheels with willpower and determination, when you use affirmations, you reprogram your subconscious to change your behaviors. So I did a ton of research into the science of affirmations. How do these actually work? What does this process actually look like? What's actually happening inside my brain when I recite these affirmations? And after doing this research, I realized most of the affirmation training out there is complete bullcrap. Most of it is lies. It's to make you feel good. It doesn't actually follow the science. But I did learn that there is a scientific way to do affirmations. And when you apply this science into your affirmations, you start to speak the language of the mind. So right then, I created 3 affirmations, which ended up making one affirmation set that I'll talk about later. And with this affirmation set, I was able to give up cookie dough 100% cold turkey. Let's do this. Point number 1, affirmations reprogram your subconscious. Now, have you ever done something and then immediately thought, what? Why the hell did I just do that? Well, you did that because 90 to 95% of all of our daily actions are on autopilot and based in the subconscious, not the fully present conscious. Now, if you think about it, this makes total sense. You aren't consciously thinking, oh, I have to have this posture at every single moment, right? The way that you just fidget with your glasses without thinking of it, the way you nod to a stranger, the way you react when someone calls your name, all of these are programmed into our subconscious. So then the question is, how do we reprogram our subconscious? This is where affirmations come in, because affirmations reprogram your subconscious by giving it a goal, by giving it something to search after. Because our subconscious is actually like a guided missile. This is an interesting analogy, but bear with me. A guided missile, you set a target for it and then it goes, and it'll avoid anything that it needs in the way in order to reach that target. But no matter what, it goes after that target. It's not going to get distracted by A, B, C, or D. It says, this is the target, this is what I will find, and it will go after it. Now, our subconscious is the same way. Over the years, we've set these patterns, these ingrained behaviors. In other words, we've set these targets on how I want to act and feel. How affirmations work is that you reprogram the subconscious by changing the goal that it's going after. You're saying, instead of going after this goal that you've been going after, I want you to go after this goal. And now, like the programmed missile, all of a sudden your subconscious says, oh, okay, let's go after this. Boom, and avoids everything in the way and brings you right to this new goal. Point number 2, the crystal effect. Now, have you ever seen those images where there's this glass ball in the center and it completely reverts the image that you're seeing? Everything is now upside down. Well, that's how I got the name for this idea, the crystal effect. Everyone experiences reality through a perspective, through a lens, or through a crystal. And so if you want to change your experience of reality, all you have to do is change the perspective or the crystal through which you see and experience that reality. Let me demonstrate this through a story. There's this couple that has been saving up to go to Paris. It is their dream vacation. They've been wanting to do it so bad. They finally have enough money and they go. And the first day they get there, they go into this, go to check into the hotel, and it's not as nice as they thought it was. So they're a little bummed. They realize, oh, this doesn't have all the amenities that we were hoping for. It doesn't have a hot tub. It doesn't have all the fancy frills. After they get all settled in, they decide it's time to go shopping. So they walk outside, and they're going through all the little shops, and about 15 minutes later, all of a sudden, these dark clouds start to come in. The sky starts to get dark, and then it downpours. So then they rush in over to a little cafe, they order a coffee, and they sit down and they start to complain. They say, we've been saving up for 3 years. We've been trying to come out to Paris. When we finally get to come, we realize the hotel that we stayed at, it's not nearly as nice as we thought it was going to be. Then we get here and all of a sudden it's raining. We're wasting our vacation. Now let's compare that story to the couple staying a couple doors down at the same hotel. They've been saving up, wanting to go to Paris for years. They finally got enough money. So they save, they fly out there, and they show up at the hotel, and they thought it was going to be this nice hotel. Turns out it's this local hotel. And the wife looks over at the husband and says, oh my God, I'm so excited. We get to experience Paris like a local. We don't have to be a tourist. We get to actually experience the energy and the life of the city. So they rush into their room, they unpack, they're all excited, and they go outside. They said, let's go shopping. So they go outside, they start to go shopping. And after about 15 minutes later, the storm clouds start to come in, the sky gets dark, and then it downpours. So then this couple rushes into the same exact cafe, orders a coffee, sits down, and then the husband looks in the wife's eyes and says, I am so glad to be on this vacation with you. We get to experience Paris like a local. We don't get to sit up into some fancy hotel. We get to experience the life of the city. And look it's raining. This is so romantic. It's adding such a beautiful ambiance to the experience of Paris. Both couples have the exact same experience, and yet they have completely different realities. The reason is because of their perspective. One couple has a perspective that everything is wrong. We came here, it was supposed to be sunny. We came here, we're supposed to stay at this nice hotel. Our entire vacation is ruined. While the other couple has a perspective that this is an amazing vacation. We are so excited to be here. We get to spend time with each other and experience Paris like a local. Same exact experiences, different perspective. Now this is where affirmations really kick in. Affirmations not only reprogram the subconscious, they change your perspective. Now the subconscious is always looking for the goal that you give it. You tell the subconscious, this is the goal I want, and it is always striving after that goal. It's looking in your environment to say, what can I do and what's happening in my environment that points towards this goal. When you give your subconscious a new goal, it then dedicates its energy to find and support this new goal. This is what affirmations do. Affirmations tell your subconscious, this is what I'm looking for. This is the goal that I have in mind in my environment, within this experience. Find things and report back to me that support and move me closer to this goal. Affirmations change your perspective, and your perspective changes your reality. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you stayed for the whole thing, you learned how affirmations reprogram your subconscious and the importance of perspective and affirmations. Remember, I will be right here next week to help you unlock your potential. Until then, grow yourself, grow your business.